on 938 Live. This is Talkback.
Well, we're talking this morning about stress during the holidays and festive seasons on Talkback. Well, we've just come out of our week-long holiday period, or for some, 2 weeks, even longer maybe. Certainly for school children, a bit longer than that. So we're asking you this morning, do the holidays and the festive seasons, they excite you? Do they stress you out more? Do you get perhaps a bit irritable or worried during the holidays? If so, what about? Well, you can obviously call us here on 6691138 and tell us your experiences. Or you can drop us a line on Facebook, official 938 Live. Well, a recent survey by the American Psychological Association found that while people generally love the holidays, these periods also present people with mixed emotions. Now, up to 68% of people get stressed and irritated. Andre, one that you could be in that 68 percentile. They feel particularly negative.
Takes a lot to irritate me, actually.
I know. They feel particularly negative about the commercial aspects of the holiday, especially when it comes to gift giving. I mean, even having to impress relatives and friends. I mean, how high can you raise that bar, I guess? Others feel sadness, anger, loneliness, especially if loved ones are sick, or even if they're by themselves as well, or perhaps their loved ones might be far away, or if they've lost a significant member of the family, perhaps during the year.
Sure.
So, do you find major holidays or planning for a vacation stressful? If so, how do you manage that stress of the holidays or festive seasons? More people seem to be travelling, especially during the Chinese New Year break. Is this the way to beat the stress, like just get out of town? Are family gatherings really so stressful? So we're asking you, what have your experiences been? And you can share with us how you cope with the yearly festive gatherings, whichever festival or festive season that you actually celebrate. Also, are festive gatherings in the office or at home greater cause for anxiety? Do give us a call, 66911
So everywhere there is stress.
Everywhere.
Oh dear. Well, in the same survey, actually, 56% of respondents said work was a source of stress while they were on holiday. 29% indicated the home front being stressful, while 9% indicated both work and home as stresses. Only 5% felt neither work nor office stressed them out. I wonder if these people even work. During the holidays, women were most stressed by a lack of money and the pressure to give or to get gifts. I thought women just love shopping. Shouldn't be stressful. Okay, my wife is going to kill me for saying that.
Yes.
For men, it was a lack of time that put most stress on them. But the survey showed that women feel more stressed than men when it comes to not having enough time. It must be shopping again. Okay. Tell us why you think this is so, and why are women more stressed about that than men? Give us a call on 6691138. Tell us how you keep up to speed with what's happening in the office without getting stressed even whilst you're on leave. Now, our guest today is Miss Joyce Ling. She is the principal counsellor and the owner of Live Architects Counselling Practice. Joyce, people love holidays and festive seasons, and yet, they also cause stress for so many people. Why this irony?
Well, let me just wish everybody listening in a very good morning and a Happy New Year. It's a pleasure to be on the show again.
Thank you.
And the question about... Well, let me start by just giving an explanation, a clinical explanation about what stress is.
Okay.
Right, when the mind perceives emotional threats, the body produces a lot of adrenaline and cortisol to deal with it. So stress is when there's an accumulation of adrenaline in the system. So the key word here is perception. So if a person is able to view an event as being potentially not so emotionally threatening, then therefore there would be less stress.
Emotionally threatening.
That's right.
Holidays, how can they be emotionally threatening?
Well,
you would think, right?
Well, a holiday, a person who has gone on holiday may be thinking about what work he has left behind.
Yeah.
For example, would the colleagues be talking about him while he's on holiday? Would a business owner might be thinking, well, would my staff be able to run the show well when I'm on holiday? On holiday, they could also be thinking about like say for example a family member who might have been difficult in the past,
Right.
on past holidays, and then the memory of that triggers this emotional threat.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So going on holiday with a particular family member might be stressful.
Oh dear.
So, I mean, why go then, Joyce, for holidays, and why celebrate festive seasons if they are such a source of stress?
Well, all these stress. Holidays can be still a source of enjoyment if a person is able to change their mental models about the perceived threats. So, for example, if a person can tell themselves that, hey, my job won't be threatened when I go on holiday. If the business owner can tell himself, I've already gave very, very clear instructions, and my staff can run the show well even when I'm not there.
Yeah.
If a family member can just tell themselves, hey, you know what, it's about love, it's about family, that's the priority.
And having
Right.
a break as well.
Yeah, and having
getting
a break. Yeah.
getting away, because if you are a business owner or a leader in a corporate say entity, I mean, you can have a staycation, but it's not the same, is it? Because you'll still can go into the office because you just happen to be in Singapore.
Oh, that's a bad idea.
So you do need to get away, right?
So, for example, if they feel if they really cannot let go, so to speak, of whatever is happening in the office,
Yeah.
actually taking the office along with you on vacation might be a good idea.
You think
Take
so?
the laptop.
Yeah,
And
I mean, if a person feels more emotionally threatened by the fact that they cannot manage while on holiday, then it might be better if they could, actually...
they can regain control.
Yeah, they can gain control even while on holiday.
All right, 669-11938. We've got Carla on the line joining us. Hi, Carla.
Good morning. Happy New Year to both of you.
Happy New Year. So, what are your thoughts on this? How did you handle your stress?
To be very frank, I agree with you. I always wonder why people get very stressed out, even not buying gifts over the season period. But for me, it's very simple. Life is very simple. I'll buy a stack of thank you cards towards the end of the year, and I actually give away thank you cards and buying gifts.
Oh.
Yes, because I feel that thank you cards is a time for me to share my thank you and also forgiveness. I think end of the year it's time for us to wrap up the whole year in a different angle. So I buy a stack of thank you cards to give away to my friends and family members. So basically, I felt that was more effective than stressing myself buying gifts. It also saves a lot of money. And I don't think so. It always comes with a gift. It's what you count with internally with your care and love for the others. It's more matters than buying a gift.
Very interesting. Yeah. I mean, you're right. I mean, first of all, yes, it saves money. Secondly, I mean, you don't have to walk around so much.
Sometimes the words, though, reading words, and they mean so much more rather than saying them. Sometimes when you read them.
And the thing is that you take time, I'm sure, to pen each card to a person, right?
Yes, that's very important. Yeah, that's very important because each person is varies and you have to give it very differently. And that's where the personal touch comes in. And you might be thinking it's time-consuming, but actually it's not. It's a joy of writing it.
Well said.
I love that.
Yeah, great idea. Thank you very much. Yeah, okay, Joyce, you'd say something, yes.
All right, I think Carla is totally right. I mean, in terms of giving gifts, there might be an emotional threat of the person not appreciating it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's totally right in saying that, sometimes it's better not to give a gift, but to write a thank you card.
Wow. I mean, you don't think about that. I mean, I love giving cards, but I didn't quite think the way Carla has put it, and she's put it very nicely, actually.
And each message would be different to that particular person.
Because you can't have one message, generic thing for everyone. I mean. But it's really a good idea, and I think maybe even expressing yourself does help you to de-stress. Does that do that for people as well, Joyce?
Well, in terms of expressing oneself, definitely, in order to show appreciation for others, that would certainly be a very good way of just expressing yourself and expressing your thanks and showing gratitude.
Okay.
Yeah, certainly.
Now, we mentioned earlier that people have mixed feelings during the holidays and festive seasons. Looking at some of them, irritability. Why irritability?
Well, I would say that when you're on holiday, you know there are flights to catch. Your sleep patterns are totally disrupted, and so it's definitely one thing whereby you get tired more easily. And when you get tired more easily, you definitely feel more irritated. Yeah. So there's also an element of where family gets together, and then you kind of like have this idea that every single family member has this idea that it's their right to relax. It's their right to take a break, and so everybody forgets to serve each other in the family.
Yeah. And then everybody would go, okay, yeah, it's my time to relax. So nobody does anything, and everybody forgets time, place, and what.
But sometimes it is true, Joyce. When you haven't had a holiday all year, just say, and then you're saving yourself for the end of the year break or whichever part of the year, and your body almost kind of can go into not meltdown, but it's almost the defences come down, and a lot of people do tend to get sick, don't they, on holidays as well?
That's right, because you are already you're leaving the routine of everyday life where you go to work. There's a set timing to everything, and then once you tune your mind to I think I'm gonna relax. Sometimes the body really it just reacts by falling sick, and that's such an unfortunate thing when people start a holiday being sick.
But you mentioned also irritability because of catching planes and all that. So from the work schedule, then you go into a journey schedule or a travel schedule, and then that I find sometimes being on a tour being very, very stressful, because you've got to get up at a specific time, of the morning, and you've got to have breakfast at a specific time, and then you've got to be on the bus at a specific time. Oh my word.
But I would say that the more stressful holidays would be the so-called free and easy types. Because
really?
You have to make decisions all the time, and whenever you make a decision, you run the risk, an emotional threat of making the wrong decision.
Okay, well that's a good point. Although I thought the free and easy would be free and easy.
Yeah, do what you like.
Get up and go when we think it's time to go.
You've got to be a family decision if you bring the entire family.
That's also very true. And when the kids were younger, it's easy to overrule everybody. But once they grew up,
they've got a voice.
Absolutely had an opinion. All right, 669-11938. We want to hear your opinions. We've got Peter on the line. Hi, Peter.
Hey, good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
I think that there's two aspects why the part about people getting stressed. I think if everybody's having fun and you're not, that's also stressful in itself. Or if you don't have the financial capability to splurge on all these things. So from that aspect, I think it's important to remember those people who might not be able to join in the party. Like, let's say you have a gift exchange at some party and it's $50 a gift, and somebody might not be able to do that, or go join in that fancy dinner. It may not be able to do that. So the other aspect about having a holiday at a year, and this is my personal take, is you travel to a place which is in the same time zone, and you spend most of the time in a coma. What I mean is you just sleep throughout it, and the aim is not so much to do the usual touristy Chan Brothers refugee thing, but instead to just rest and maybe just do a few simple things like eat some nice food, see one or two sites. But the main goal is that four-letter word called rest, rather than come back even more tired than before. Then you go into the new year half broke because you spent too much, too fat because you ate too much, and then sleep too little. So the new year actually becomes a stressful and dreadful thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Peter, you brought up some really fantastic points there. Thank you very much for bringing that up. But we've got to run for news right now. And when we come back, we'll certainly take up what Peter said right here on Talkback on 938 Live. Now, do the holidays and the festive seasons excite you or stress you out more? Do they get you irritated or worried about the holidays? And if you've got kids to tag along, does that stress you out even more, especially if you have to organize a holiday for them? And there was one thing earlier on that one of our callers mentioned, Peter, and he said money could also be an issue. And if certainly, not everyone is doing so well, and there are times when certain families could be short of cash.
And you might feel that pressure that you've got to
live
to
up.
spend
Exactly.
on
You bring the
gifts.
kids to a certain place or buy people certain gifts. How do people put up with that kind of pressure, Joyce?
Well, I would say that some of the best memories are priceless. It's actually the amount of care and thought that goes into planning and planning an event for the family or to prepare a gift that does not cost very much but is very meaningful to a friend.
Right.
Yeah, so definitely if you bust any budget on any holiday, they would certainly be stressful.
Exactly. So, but how do you explain? I mean, it could be a teachable moment as well, especially if it's for the children. But how do you go about doing that? Without also breaking their hearts, so to speak.
Well, I think it would be great to be upfront with the kids if there isn't enough money to kind of like just tell them that we are going through a tough time and I'm sure the children will understand. Yeah.
And there's still wonderful activities that you can do that
precisely.
don't cost any money here in Singapore.
Absolutely, absolutely. 669-11938. We have Mr. Tham on the line. Hi, Mr. Tham.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Yes, I thought that this term holiday stress is such an oxymoron because the fact that we are having a holiday means the intention is to relieve stress, and yet a lot of people are feeling stressed out because of the idea of doing too many things in too short a time during the holiday.
Absolutely.
Yes, I wanted to make a comment about this free and easy holidays that you all were talking about earlier.
Sure.
I think this term is actually a misnomer because you're actually not so free and the schedule is actually not so easy at all when you're actually planning your own holidays. A few factors that people fail to consider, because when you're going on free and easy, many of us fail to consider or factor in the uncertainties in the itineraries when we are traveling on our own. So, and then we also try to squeeze in too many destinations within too short a period of time. So that will result in a lot of stress.
Right. So there has to be a certain sense of reality, isn't it? You can't go everywhere. But you're so right about schedules. Sometimes we don't know when a particular ferry is leaving, for that matter, or when a certain amusement park may be closed. All that sort of things, right?
Yes, exactly. But I guess for those of us who have not tried the free and easy holidays, perhaps you should try it, because I think it actually brings the whole family together. One thing I have done is I make it a point to plan the route together with my family members and involving the children as well, so that they have a say in the destinations, how we go about planning a route. And I always make it a point to prepare them to say that, when we are planning our route, of course there will be mistakes that are made along the way, which may lead us to blind alleys. But surprisingly, there are some routes that led us to unexpected discoveries, and that is the whole idea, of teaching our kids, that in life there are uncertainties, but uncertainties means opportunities.
Absolutely, some sudden nice surprises, right?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tan, for sharing that with us. Can I just ask you, as you go back to work, is it your first day at work today?
No, actually, I went back to work last week already.
Okay, but how do you put up with having to go back to work knowing that you've got lots of things waiting for you? Is there that when the reality kicks in, how do you handle that? Mr. Tan? I think we lost Mr. Tan there.
I think we lost him.
Yes. Oh, what a pity. What a pity. But he had so many great ideas. Okay, Joyce. So let me put that question to you. How can people manage stress when they know that they're going back to a whole lot of things waiting for them?
Well, I think the first thing that person should do upon going back to work is to mark all emails as read.
Mark all emails as read.
That's right, number one on there.
Why do that?
And then and then really sit down and think and prioritize 3 very important things that has to be done within the first week of going back to work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then after you've completed that 3 very important things, then go back to the emails, and then you can kind of like look at it and decide which are the really important ones that need to be responded to.
Okay, so yeah, that also takes some courage because in people's minds, every or practically every email, other than spam, of course, is urgent, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, people say, people send you an email or they copy you on it, not expecting you to respond straight away, but they would still look out for your response, whatever it is.
The truly important ones would be read with the exclamation mark.
That's correct.
Yeah.
All right. We've already run out of time, unfortunately. Peter, thank you very much for calling in, and for all of you who've been calling in on 669-11938. Just before we go, let me ask you very quickly, Joyce, how do women and men handle this sort of holiday stress?
Well,
or how different do they handle it?
actually, I wouldn't like to have this gender bias thing going on here.
Sure. It's nothing to do with, but I mean,
Right.
there is a perception that men handle things differently from the way women would.
Well, actually, I think for ladies, we have a bigger support network in terms of emotional support network. So, men tend to keep things to themselves and not want to share so much.
Right.
So that's how the gender responds to stress differently. Because the moment you are able to talk about your thoughts and feelings about something to someone else, then it reduces the adrenaline levels much more quickly. So that's how
we can handle it a little bit better.
Yeah, that's right. Talk about it.
Okay, talk about it. All right, so thank you very much for joining us, and you can still talk to us on our Facebook official 938 Live. Many thanks to our guest this morning, Joyce Ling. She is Principal Counsellor at Live Architects. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.